Hi, you guys. Hold on, my light just went out, you guys. Hey, everybody. Hold on, my light just went out. I mean, y'all can see me, but there we go. There we go. It went out again. This is because it's... Hi, you guys. Happy Sunday. Welcome. Happy Sunday, you guys. This light, look, you guys. I think it's going to be okay, but we'll try. I'll try one more time. Let's see if it stays on. Can y'all hear me? Can you see me? Y'all know how this works. You know how this works. I always come on here a few minutes early so y'all can tell me if you can see me, if you can hear me. Let me know. All good. Thumbs up if you can hear me. If you can see me, let me know, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Welcome, you guys. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. All is good. Let me know. I always have to do like an audio check. Make sure you can hear me, see me. I'm going to ask y'all until somebody says, yes, Ashley, I can hear you and see you. So somebody's got to say something here shortly. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Can y'all hear me? Can you see me? Yes. Yes to both. Yes to both. The boss and boss lady of pre-foreclosures. I see you. Yes and yes to both. Thank you. Thank you. Let me know you can hear me and see me. I appreciate it. I'm always on here a couple minutes early. Just trying to make sure everything is set up. The light went off again. But y'all, it doesn't really matter. I have another light. We can see and hear you. Thank you, the Affiliate Marketing Express. You're always on here. The Affiliate Marketing Express, you're in New York. Am I right? Cool. Y'all can see me and hear me. Of course, you know I want to know where everybody's from, right? I got to know where you're from. We got like 1 minute and then we'll jump in. Kind of let everybody get on here. Where are you from? Tell me where you're from. You know I always like to know that, right? And then we can jump in. I feel like I missed last week. Florida. Florida. Oh, I know the weather's probably amazing in Florida right now. Everybody knows I want to buy a beach house in Florida. We all know that, right? At this point, I need a good foreclosure. I need a good foreclosure in Florida. That would just make my whole life, honestly. Oxford, Tampa. Yes, New York. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I'm good about this kind of stuff. Welcome, you guys. My dogs, you in Florida too. You're in Florida. All the Florida people. I know it's warm there. All good. All good. Welcome, you guys. Of course, I like to hear where you're from. If you want to tell me where you're from, absolutely. We can get started. It is 8 o'clock. So I can jump in. Let me do my introduction because I always forget to do that, right? Even though y'all know it like word for word verbatim at this point, right? So, you guys, happy Sunday. I'm Ashley Pickens here in Memphis, Tennessee, you guys. I have been in real estate since I got licensed in 2006. So y'all, technically it's almost like 18 years, right? I keep saying 17. It's like 18 years at this point that I've had my license. I've had my license my whole adult life, honestly. So I got licensed as a real estate broker back in 2006. I've also been I got licensed as a real estate agent. Then I became a real estate broker. And then about 6 years ago, I became an auctioneer, right? So I auction off foreclosures at the courthouse. That is why most of you are here, because you don't know any other auctioneers, right? And they're not making videos. So I auction off foreclosures at the courthouse. I'm the one that says going once, going twice, sold. That is me. I do not talk super fast. I auction here in Shelby County, which is Memphis. I auction in parts of Mississippi. Sometimes I'm in Nashville, and I just kind of work the rural, that's such a like country word, rural counties, you know, down here in Tennessee, Mississippi, you guys. So I've been doing that for the last 6 years. So I think that's where most people found me, because I make videos and I share information about how the auction actually works. I mean, nobody else really does that, right? Nobody on the inside does that. You know what I mean? Kind of tell y'all where the auctions, how they work, all of that. So I just started doing that, and then y'all found me, and now we're like a happy family at this point, right? And so I come on here on Sundays and just talk, basically, and answer your questions and just, you know, share what I know, basically, for an hour or an hour and a half or an hour and like 45 minutes. So, or until my voice goes out, right? I can already hear my voice getting a little, but you know what? We're going to work with it. We're going to work with it. You're from Eastern Shore of Maryland. Okay, come on, Maryland. Foreclosure in Florida will be a few blocks from, that's right, because Van, you've been on here before, because you know, all y'all know, there's Danita. Welcome, Danita. Everybody knows, Danita knows how much I plan on paying for my beach house, right? $27.19, right? Van Morris Smith, you're gonna be right there next. We can be neighbors, right? That's how $34.17 is what I'm about to get my beach house for when it goes into foreclosure. So let's jump in. Let's talk about stuff, you guys. Was I on here last weekend, you guys? I can't remember. Under $100, right? So I got to update y'all on the last situation about the family that was going to walk away from the house, right? We talked about that. I'll have to catch everybody up on that. This is also the first full week of February, which means lots of auctions in Georgia, Texas, right? Y'all, the first Tuesday of the month. Lots and lots of auctions. I posted them on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, all the Florida people are here tonight. All the Florida, all of y'all are representing tonight. Florida has everybody outnumbered at this point. So, Florida, I mean, y'all threw me all the way off since Florida's representing really hard tonight. Big auctions in Georgia this week. Georgia is usually the first Tuesday of the month, right? So Memphis, welcome a neighbor. Thank you. Somebody from Tennessee. Lots of auctions in Georgia. The list is super long. You guys, I posted it on Instagram. That's what I was saying. Your Agent Ashley on Instagram. I usually post the schedule. And then when I post the schedule, you guys, that's not all of the auctions, right? I have not been to an auction in Chicago. I see your question. I know in Chicago that they do auctions. South Carolina, what's up? In Chicago, from what I've heard, y'all do auctions. Like, it's like one big place, and y'all have all kinds of auctions going on like at the same time. Like foreclosure, tax sales, boom, 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 right? So if you need to know where to find the auction, South Florida. Y'all, I'm not going to play with Florida today, okay? Y'all are just in here. Florida is representing, I think that's a sign. You know how people are always like, that's a sign. That's a sign. It's so many Florida people here. It's meant for me to move to Florida eventually, right on the beach with my amazing beach house for $19.73. Like, I'm just telling you. I feel like this is confirmation. It's confirmation. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You know you have to say Milwaukee with like an accent when you say it. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But anyway, my point is, you guys, you know I get all the way off. South Carolina, I think that's it. Off Chicago. Don't worry. Y'all, I'm gonna still do my lives on Sunday, you guys. I'm gonna still do my lives. You're just gonna see the beach and the waves behind me. That's all. I'm gonna have to wear a microphone because you won't be able to hear me over the waves. That's all. Don't worry about it. I'm still gonna come on here. Come on, Lauren. Me too for $19. Look, I'm telling you, there's power in the tongue, right? Right. But anyway, my point is, and you guys, y'all always throw me off once I start talking. What was it? Chicago auctions. If you're looking for auctions, right? Because I only post so many, right? I'll always represent Memphis, right? I'm always gonna. When it's a hurricane in Florida, I'm just gonna come back to Memphis, right? Auctions. Auctions, you guys, to look for them, because I don't post all the auctions, right? I usually, I share with y'all the schedule for one of the companies that I'm contracted through, right? Y'all know I'm contracted through like attorneys and stuff like that. So they post the schedule. So y'all understand how this works. I share the schedule Like I can see the schedule like of all the auctions that they have, right? And so when auctioneers, when we finish, we call in, we update them, tell them how much the property sold for, and then they type that in. So I can see the schedule as they're like updating it when they post it, and that's what I share with you, right? So that's what I share with y'all, right? But it's not all the auctions across the country, right? So I just share with y'all what I can see and post that. Or sometimes I dig a little deeper and I'll try to find some auctions like in Chicago or Pennsylvania, and I'll try to share those, right? But you guys, it's not all of them. If you want auctions where you are, you guys, I always tell y'all this. Do I need to tell y'all this again, where to find auctions? Do we need to go through that really quickly? Where you find auctions where you live, right? So thanks, you guys. Yeah, what, you know, on YouTube, they're always like, comment, and subscribe. You guys, you know. My point is, how do you find auctions? I do this all the time, you guys. If you've been here before, go with it. So if you need to find auctions where you live, right? I always say, like, auction.com is a great place, you guys. Like, auction.com. So y'all know I gave away like free websites, right? It was residential, commercial land, and REO websites. It's a free bundle. It's down below, you guys. Look in my description. It's absolutely free. So I give away the bundle, right, with the free websites to find auctions. And then somebody DMs me and is like, so what we do with them when we go to, so what do we do with them, with the websites? I'm like, I really got to hold y'all's hand, don't I? You guys, you go to the websites and then you put in the county where you live, and then it will pull the auctions, right? It's kind of like a Zillow kind of search, right? That's what auction.com is. Hubzu, Zone. What else is there? All these, I'm trying to think of the commercial. 10x.com. Like, it's just a platform that houses auctions. Put in where you live and it'll pull auctions, right? So do that. And if you haven't got the bundle, look down in my description. It's absolutely free, you guys. Absolutely free, okay? So that's one great place to find auctions, honestly. Go to auction.com and those websites. If not, you guys, go to your public notices in your county. Google your county. I live in Shelby County, so I put Shelby County public notices, right? And then that's how I would find auctions in my area. Like, I've had so many times I've been at the auctioning. I've been auctioning at the auction. I've been conducting auctions. And people will come. I had a guy come up to me with the newspaper, right? Because people still tell you to look in the newspaper for auctions. Thanks, you guys. Yes, and the course, you guys. Use code thank you if you get the Auction Accelerator course. A couple people bought it today, actually. Use code thank you. The link is down below. Anyway, my point is, a guy came up to me, was waiting for me after the auction, and was like, they say look in the newspaper, but I don't know where to look in the newspaper, right? You guys, they are in the newspaper. I've said this so many times. I know if you've been on here, you are tired of me saying this. But if you are new, you guys, you just look in your smaller papers, okay? My paper is kind of raggedy, but that's okay. Look in your smaller papers, not the big Chicago Tribune, LA Times, New York Times. It's the smaller one. Here in Memphis, it is Memphis Daily News. Nashville, it's Tennessee Ledger. Look in those, right? I always say, and my dog Rex will say it too, you know, the smaller papers, you can find them at the library. You know, we all know, like, the library is the place that they have books, right? And you can go rent them, borrow them for a little bit of time, and take them back, right? That's the library. So those things exist. And sometimes they have these smaller papers, okay? So look in the smaller paper for auctions. You're looking for substitute trustees. You're looking for the public notice, okay? When they go in the paper, you guys, they're posted like 30 days before the auction, okay? So all of you who are looking for pre-foreclosures or try to get to the people before they go into auction, try the paper, okay? I hope that made sense, right? Okay, let's think of, I'm trying to think of everything that I want to talk about that's gone on during the week, you guys. Let's see. Auctions, paper, get the websites. They're free. Go to an auction. It's absolutely free. That's what I tell everybody. Go to the auction. It is free. You don't have to pay anything, you guys. Walk, see where it is. All of the auctions that I post are at the courthouse, okay? I'm at the courthouse, okay? I'm never at the people's houses, okay? Because people could live in the house. People could live in the house. And I'm not going to stand in their front yard, in their driveway, and auction off their house, right? We've all seen 99 homes, right? So I'm not, it's always at the courthouse, usually. Or if it's auction.com, they're usually like in a conference room. I hope that makes sense to everybody, okay? So the point is, go to the auction, right? Auctions are free. Yes, they are open to the public. I know like car auctions, you have to register or have a license and all that kind of stuff. You can go to the auction, you guys. Now, if you want to bid, you probably have to register, okay? You got to register, fill out the paperwork. I don't charge anything, right? I've heard some people have been on my live and they've said that they've gone to the auction and they paid or something, right? I don't know. Like, I'm not charging y'all to get in the auction like it's the club or something, like free before 10 or nothing like that. Like, I'm not doing that, right? It's open to the public. If you decide to bid, you just fill out a little bit of paperwork, right? And then you can bid. And if you're not bidding, you don't have to do nothing. You just stand there, right? Boom. And don't bid. Boom. Everybody with it? Joy Rogers, how are you? I can't remember where you're from, though. I can't remember. Refresh my memory of where you're from. So, okay. So I went over auctions. Let's talk about foreclosures. You guys, I'm already waiting for January's foreclosure numbers to come out. HUD did post their report already for January, you guys. HUD did. You know, I follow HUD closely, even though I don't really believe their numbers that much. Y'all know how I feel about that. Texas, I got you. This is an auction week for Texas, actually. So HUD did post their numbers for January. Everybody knows that I'm kind of watching. I think we might have a, we'll see, a troll. But I've been watching because I knew it. It was coming. I got an alert real quick. Hold on, you guys. Okay, so y'all, I'll just clear them out when they come in, because they always come in. What was I saying, you guys? My point is, HUD numbers. I get thrown off. So COVID protection ended November. We talked about this. COVID protection ended November. We know they didn't have to pay a mortgage payment December. So January is really the first month that people were in forbearance, had to pay. Thank you guys. Thanks, you guys. It's another one coming. I see the little message pop up. So January. So I was kind of looking to see what January numbers were going to be like, right? So you guys, I keep saying so. I know y'all see me trying to, hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, there, that should work. So I've been waiting for January's HUD numbers to come out to see what they were going to look like, see how many people missed. Jamal, good to see you. Good old Jamal, right? Everybody knows Jamal is like I'm not going to say the class clown, but you know, Jamal. You always bring so much humor to my master classes and my lives. So, January's numbers came out. That is where I'm trying to get to, you guys. So, you know, we've been at like 4 million, 5 million for the past 2 or 3 years as far as, David, look, y'all, I'm catching these messages and you know I can't concentrate and focus at the same time. So I've been waiting on January's numbers to come out, see what we got going on. Fun fact, you guys. Fun fact. They said 1 in every 10 FHA loans are in default. 1 in 10. 1 in every 10 right now, right? I heard another fact, you guys. I wrote it down. right now, our delinquency rate, y'all follow me? Our delinquency rate right now, right, is literally 0.001%, right, away from where it was Q3 of 2006. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Our delinquencies today are literally 0.01%. I think it's 0.001% off from where we were Q3 2006 as far as delinquencies. Boom. That's where we are right now. As far as delinquencies go, 1 in 10, yeah, FHA. That's what they said. Right now, FHA is, it's a lot of people in delinquent right now. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. But I'm seeing like people are coming out of forbearance, going right into foreclosure, you guys. I see that all the time, right? I'm looking at the numbers. Forbearance numbers are going down and foreclosure numbers are going up, right? I'm also hearing there's a lot of, what do they call it? Shadow inventory. Yes, Q3 2006. Boom. A lot of shadow inventory. So I don't know if you know, the feds get their numbers. They pull their numbers from Realtor, right? So they're saying a lot of builders aren't putting their listings on Realtor. They're putting them on Zillow, right? So there's a lot of inventory that's out there, right, that's not being accounted for. But the news is like inventory's low. We got a housing shortage, but it's because it's just, there's a lot of shadow inventory that's not being built. Here, I've noticed, okay, now I'm sure where you are too, have you noticed like builders are starting to rent? Like we've got here builders who have built, they're not selling, and now they're starting to rent. We got, who's Skylake here? We got Skylake builders. I think Adams builders, they're starting to rent out their new construction because they're not selling, right? And they said there's a lot of places in Florida that have overbuilt, right? And it's just construction sites that have just got empty homes that aren't selling right now, right? So because Jamal, I'm answering your question, because again, like the feds, when the feds pull their numbers, right? The feds pull from Realtor. They don't pull from Zillow. And you don't like, okay, let me make this make sense. I know when you turn on the news, it's always like inventory is low. We're in a housing shortage. There's not enough houses. Boom, 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 right? Because you don't want, because that's the narrative right now, right? There's not enough houses. Inventory is low, whatever it is, right? When reality, that's not, they're saying builders have literally overbuilt. And I guess you don't want to have all these houses. I don't know, you guys. I guess what am I trying to think of? Like a wave of houses showing that there's a lot of vacant houses on the market, right? Because the more houses there are, that'll affect pricing for sure. If it's a lot of inventory, low buyers, you know what I mean, then y'all know how that market is. So they're saying that builders aren't putting their houses on Realtor. They're putting them on Zillow. So the numbers aren't accurate, is the point they're trying to make when we talk about how much housing we have that's vacant. And it's a lot of builders that just have overbuilt. So yeah, the narrative, y'all know how I feel about the news and the media and all that. Y'all, I started watching World News. I don't know if y'all ever watched World News, but it gives you a whole different perspective on stuff, right? And you know, if you watched me before, I believe that, you know, I mean, we know, right? Before they cut off my whole YouTube channel, right? Before they you can't say too much on here, right? But now I'm starting to sound like those crazy YouTubers. It's like, they're watching me. But you know what I'm saying? We all know that the media is controlled, right? They try to control that narrative, right? So I don't ever believe, I mean, have you heard the news come out and say 1 in 10 FHA loans are in default? Like, no, nobody has said that. If you watch the news, unemployment is down, everybody's got a job, debt is low, you know what I mean? Every time you watch the news, it's like, this was the best Black Friday we've ever had in history, right? But I'm like, then why Target and Walmart? Why y'all laying off and stuff? Like, if this was the best, but every year is the best Black Friday in history, right? So But now we are coming out seeing all these job layoffs. All the UPS just announced 12,000 jobs, right? Citigroup said 20,000 jobs. Like, you know what I mean. So they do control the narrative. So I started watching world news, right? I started watching, like, because it's kind of more of an unbiased opinion of what goes on. And y'all know I don't believe any numbers. And honestly, this 0.001% away from Q3 2006, that's probably not even right either. We probably beat the numbers in 2006, right? We probably passed those numbers. But I mean, they just said, you know, you don't announce those kind of things because then people will stop spending. Then, you know what I mean? Then we'll be in a recession, right? You know, you guys, that's a whole nother story in itself. I would like to note, let me just say this. I would like to note, I got an email this week. If you're in real estate, you might know Inman, the INMAN, the big real estate conference. They send out news articles, very big in real estate, right? They have conferences. They always do all that. There was an article this week in Inman that said, now, and the title was, buy now, no, it's date the rate, is that fraudulent or something like that. And you know how long I've been saying this. That when agents were saying date the rate, buy now, refinance later, that's not right. The article came out this week that was like, that's basically mortgage deception at this point, telling people to buy now and that they could refinance later. I'm like, I've been saying that. But I guess now it's because, right, we've been in, like, if we're going to talk about the true definition of a recession, we've been there, right? We were there last year. So now they're coming out saying, telling clients to buy now, refinance later is mortgage deception, right? Which I agree. But I'm sure this happened because Jerome did not lower the rates, right? They're saying Jerome is not going to lower the rates in March. So now all these people who bought homes last year thinking they could refinance, now here we are a year later and the rates aren't coming down, right? So now it's like, you shouldn't have said that. That's mortgage deception. Boom, 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 boom. I agree. You shouldn't have said it. We shouldn't have said that. I didn't say it, but I know that was the narrative for a long time, getting people to buy houses. So, thank you. I tried to. So now it's a big thing about you shouldn't have said that, right? And I know mortgage lenders who were literally telling people you can refinance in 6 months. Like, buy now, and in 6 months you'll be able to refinance. I'm like, you can't tell people that, right? So you guys know I'm working on this deal. These people who just bought January of 2023 were walking away from their home, right? I told y'all about that. They called me back from my letter, reached out to me. It's a family, husband, wife, 3 kids. She is pregnant with another baby due in April, right? And they were walking away from their house, and they bought it in January of 2023. Okay, their auction was set for Friday, Thursday, Friday. It doesn't matter. It was set for like last week, right? And I got it postponed literally the day of, right? They bought it for $218,000, January 2023. They got $10,000 worth of down payment assistance, right? Their payoff, when they requested their payoff, it was $231,000. The houses in their neighborhood are selling for $190,000 to like $210,000 a year later. So payoff $230,000, comps in the neighborhood $190,000, $210,000. So we are upside down, right? So that was the other thing. So many things with this story that I could share. First of all, I feel like they could not afford this house, and I hope they're not watching me. Gosh, I always think about that. I'm like, I hope my clients don't be watching me, which they probably do. I feel like it was one of those situations where they probably couldn't afford that house in the first place, right? I always talk about down payment assistance. Yeah, we're gonna short sell it. Payoff is 230. You know me, I hit them with the, will you take 140? I had to try 140, right? Because that's what my investors want. My investors want like 70, 80% off of market value, right? So I was like, if it's worth about 210, 220, can I get it for 140? Because I know my investors would pick it up at that. They were like, that's too low. So I'm like, okay. So I offered them 185, right? I probably should have tried 170. But I was like 185. It's literally like 9:30. The auction's at 10:30. I'm texting the bank, the guy at the bank, and he's like, I said 140. He was like, it's too low. I'm like, okay. It's like 9. I posted this in my stories. At like 9:42, I'm like, what about 185? And he was like, can you get that in writing to me in 40 minutes? And I was like, yes. So they're taking 185 for the house. So it's worth 210. They're taking 185 for the house. So that is where we are on that. Back to my point of the original point of, I don't believe that they could afford the house in the first place. Why do I say that? Because everybody knows how I feel about assistance, right? I agree, you guys. I'm brown skin. I know discrimination and all that's happened. I know some people need down payment assistance. I know the homeownership gap. I know, y'all, trust me. Trust me. I know, you guys, right? I know. However, we all know this. I always talk about this. I don't think that down payment assistance helps everybody, right? It's a lot of times it cripples people, right? So I feel like this is one of those situations, and me working on the distressed market side, me seeing foreclosures, right? Me seeing the numbers. You just bought in January 2023, right? Everybody, if you know how real estate works, you close in January, you do not make a payment in February, your first payment is due in March, right? I think they made 3 payments, right? 3 or 4 payments, and that was it, right? Boom. And now here we are in February, like a year later, and that house is in foreclosure, right? And so I met with people who are in foreclosure, and when we talk about it, I'm like, so, because they paid 218, right? But their payoff is 230, because once you get assistance, if you don't stay in that house long enough, you got to pay that down payment assistance back, right? A lot of people don't know that. It depends on where you live, right? So here in Tennessee, some of the assistance is you got to stay in that house 5 years, or you got to stay in the house 10 years, or you got to pay that back, right? So since it's only been a year, they have to pay that $10,000 back. That's why their payoff is so high, right? My point is, I've dealt with people who have said, like, I didn't know we were going to have to pay that back, and I couldn't afford it. I could not have bought this house if I didn't have that down payment assistance, or I couldn't even afford it without that, right? And I know a lot of, when the market slows down, you see all these, I feel like, deceptive practices to get people to buy homes. I said that about buy now, refinance later. I thought that was very deceptive when that became the narrative. Like, I'm like, don't say that to people. I think when some people are like, if they can get you approved, and it's like, but I don't have any money, it's like, it's okay, we'll get you down payment assistance, right? But I don't have the closing costs, or I don't have this. That's okay. Get gift funds from a family member. You know, it's like, that's not, and people are like, well, I don't have earnest money, or I don't have this. And it's like, well, when I get paid again, I'll do, you know what I'm saying? Like, you weren't in a position to buy in the first place, right? And then now here we are a year later, and now the house is gone, right? So I think, again, like, home ownership is just a different ball game, right? I absolutely think everybody should own a home. I think everybody is capable of owning a home, but I think it takes discipline, and there are reasons people have to pay down payments, right? It's reasons that things are set in place for it to happen. You know what I mean, you guys? So I think this is one of those situations where it just, boom, we probably couldn't afford. I think their payment was $1,400 a month, $1,475 a month. And I think people forget when you go from like, a house is like, if you go from like a 1-bedroom, 500 square foot house, apartment, to a 2,200 square foot house, there's a utility bill difference right there, right? All your expenses have just increased, right? And at the end of the day, it's you responsible for that mortgage. It's not your realtor, it's not your mortgage person. You got to pay that mortgage along with everything else that comes with the house. So I don't know, you guys. I think the foreclosure wave, I absolutely think it's coming. I think it's coming. I think it'll be in waves for sure. I listened to a lot of different people and their perspectives on things. A lot of people said like everything's going to in a handbasket. Look, I said hell, it's Sunday, right? Right after the election, I've heard a lot of that, like the end of 24, beginning of 25. That's when they think banks are going to start collapsing. Right after the election. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like once these numbers really get out here, they're probably going to put some more assistance, right? It's always, they might give out stimulus again, right? Once they really get an idea of these numbers, what they're looking like. Veterans, their VA loans are already in default, right? Like they'll probably, they're going to come up with something, right? I educate my clients on all of those things so they can make an educated decision. There's a lot of shade. I agree with you on the foreclosure. Yeah. I'm a boss and negotiate with lenders. Yeah. I'm telling you, short sales, I believe home values are going to go down again. Like we're going to see these home values start. Most people, wherever you live right now, homes are just being reduced because they're sitting on the market and they just got to, if you are buying a home right now, negotiate. That's what I say. That's what I tell everybody. Negotiate anything you're about to buy right now, right? Because these values are coming down, honestly. That's what I was telling somebody. They were looking for a house and, there's nothing on the market. I'm like, well, check these houses that have been sitting on the market a little bit longer. Like, I think their budget was like 200. I'm like, well, maybe look at 205, look at 210, see if they've been sitting on the market a little longer and get it on down, right? But you just have to have an agent that's knowledgeable, right? That's willing to be like, I'm not paying list price. I feel like that. Like, I'm always like that, right? You got to have an agent that can back it up, right? You can't offer somebody less and then not be able to stand on it, right? You got to stand on business if offering less, right? Jamie Dimon just said that the people are running out of their stimulus money. Jamie Dimon don't even live in our atmosphere. Jamal, I'm not going to play with you today, right? While you try to be funny. Look, he don't even live in Jamie Dimon don't even know what's going on down here, right? When you walk out your backyard and get on your jet, you have no idea what's going on down here, right? You know what I mean? So that's neither here nor there. Jamie and Jerome, they're just oblivious. That's what they say. We're out of stimulus. The economy is fine. Unemployment is down. Everybody got money. They're saying like now, my voice is kind of leaving. Buy now, pay later. That's like the big thing right now, right? Buy now, pay later. Like people are even buying groceries on buy now, pay later. Like I think it's Klarna and all those Affirm. People are putting groceries on that. And like they were saying, like used to, like you do that with furniture, right? You can do payment plans, buy now, pay later. And if you don't pay, they come and get your furniture, right? But if you put your groceries on it, like if you don't pay it, they're not coming to get your groceries. You know what I mean? I guess they just gonna hit your credit, right? If you can't pay it, right? Thank you. But I feel like with all of this, with all of these different distractions, Jamal, I'm not gonna play with you. That means there's just room for us, you guys. It's room for people who are doing what they're supposed to do, right? Y'all gotta save your money. right? You can put it under the mattress if you want to, right? Whatever you want to do with it, right? Just, you got to be strategic, okay, you guys? Because when they come, we got to be able to be ready, right? When this happens. Because there's going to be a whole lot of people that are not ready. I will say that. So, HUD foreclosure numbers for January. Look how I circle back around. I always take the scenic route, right? And then I come back to my point, right? Sorry, no flat screens. You're right. That's right. You know, come on, 23. Yeah, you know, so, but when you watch the news, again, that's what I say, the narrative on the news is everything's fine, right? Everything's fine. People have money. Unemployment is up. Y'all, I hear nurses at the hospital, or like nurses are like, don't have the money, right? Struggling. Like middle class is struggling right now, right? But if you watch the news, everything is fine. It's pink starbursts and unicorns and the sun is shining. So I found a new website for everybody to look at. I found a new website. You know, I love dailyjobcuts.com. I still have not talked about HUD. I'm going to come back. Dailyjobcuts.com. I love that. I watched that. Bookmark dailyjobcuts.com. So y'all can watch with me where these layoffs are coming. I found another one, y'all. It is Warn Tracker. You know I'm kind of country. Warn, like W-A-R-N, like warning. Warn Tracker, right? WarnTracker.com, right? And they track businesses that are going to lay off. Like they've been tracking for like years, since 1988, right? And they have the states, how many layoffs, WarnTracker.com. Y'all go look at it when y'all get a chance and bookmark it, right? Actually, how many people ask you the same question? Oh, all the time. All the time, but I don't mind, you guys. Like, I feel like I know auctions, foreclosures, all that like the back of my hand. And it would be different if I didn't love doing this, right? No, I could have easily been an auctioneer. I auction at the courthouse, get in the car, and go home. But I come on here and I record videos for y'all and just share. So I don't mind. And I hope y'all can tell, like, y'all been doing this for 18 years. Like, 18 years. My whole, like, adult life, right? I know I look like I'm only, like, 23. But I'm not, right? So, y'all know I'm slick obsessed. Honestly, I'm slick obsessed. So, that's why I make videos so people can watch, right? That's why I made like a course so people can learn, and I do ebooks. You know what I mean? That's why I do master classes so people can learn, right? Because y'all gotta know, right? Because there's some good deals at the auction, right? We all trying to get our house for $29.17, right? So it's like, and to try to jam. I know, actually, yes. As a real estate investor, would you find it beneficial to have a general contractor license? I hear you can get a discount on materials. So I was thinking about getting a general contractor's license, but you guys, I just always be trying to do too much. But I think it would be a good idea. Like, I think when I think about doing something different or breaking into another, stream, I always try to remember the end goal. What is the end goal, right? And everything I do, I try to make sure it aligns with that. So if you're trying to build houses, right? Or if you're trying to be a builder, maybe something like that, then a general contractor's license maybe would be needed, right? I just feel like as long as it aligns with the end game or the goals, then absolutely do it, right? So I'm going to say yes, but it's to you to determine what the end game is, right? But if it's going to help you get there, then absolutely do it, right? Right? Let's do all the things. Someone asked about the start date for the mentorship. Now it's ongoing. I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say this, you guys. I think by second quarter, I think that's probably when, I think that might be like towards the end of when I'm going to have like the mentorship. So it's like 6 weeks at this point, right? So I'm kind of calculating second quarter is April. So I kind of have to do 6 weeks from April 1st. And that will be where that last group of people can get in. But you can get in anytime, basically, right? but the last person will be like 6 weeks from April 1st, I think. But I'm going to come up with something where it's not like just over with. I still want you to learn how to master foreclosures and pre-foreclosures. So it might turn into like a course or something like that. You know what I mean? I just kind of got to wean off of that, right? So everybody enjoy it while you can, right? Like I always look at my schedule from, this is like my schedule in 2020, right? My schedule in 2020. Like that's literally, I think this was one day in 2020. So, and this was 2020, right? Well, when did they put the moratorium? That was like 21, 22, right? Because I'm still auctioning in 20. This was June of 2020. I was still busy auctioning. So, you know, I don't like to like do stuff and then I can't do it all the way. You know what I mean? What I'm saying, you guys? I like to make sure like it's good and you enjoy it and you get something out of it. So, I'm thinking, we will see. So yeah, everybody, y'all know my contact info. Your Agent Ashley. I'm Your Agent Ashley everywhere, right? Your Agent Ashley at Gmail, Your Agent Ashley on Instagram, Your Agent Ashley, boom, on YouTube, you guys, you know what I mean? So we'll see, but you can get in the mentorship now. You can get it, you can still get in it now, and then we have our one-on-one meeting so I can see where you are, all that kind of stuff, and help you find foreclosures in your area. And if you're somewhere where I got an attorney, I'll connect you with that attorney, right? 6 weeks from April 1st. 6 weeks, because I'm thinking the cutoff might be second quarter. So yeah, you can jump in at any time. And then, y'all, we meet on Wednesdays, 8 o'clock, right? I think we're going to have a guest speaker this Wednesday. So anyway, yes, all the links are down below. All my stuff is down below. All my information is in one spot, you guys, one spot. HUD numbers. I cracked myself up. HUD numbers, you guys. So anyway, warrentracker.com, go look at that, bookmark that. dailyjobcuts.com, bookmark that, so you can check back on there. Y'all gotta, so I know we can all talk about what's going on, right? HUD numbers for January. You guys, we have been sitting at like 4 million people since COVID, right? When it comes to foreclosures, it's going to be a lag in foreclosures. It's always a lag in foreclosures. I've said that before. Last market crash in 2008, we saw the peak of foreclosures in 2010. 2010, we had like, 1.9 million foreclosures in 2010. We had like 960,000 foreclosures in 2009. So our peak was 2010, like 2 years after 2008, right? So understand that there's always a lag in foreclosures. It's always a delay in it, right? So, and then again, we have an election year coming up, so we don't know how that's gonna play out. I heard that, I feel like even with VA, when they announced that the veterans were going to extend VA, you can't foreclose on veterans until the summer, right? They just extended that. But these servicers are kind of trying to have a discussion about, okay, great, we get the moratorium, but how are we going to get paid, right? That's what they're trying to figure out, right? Since now these people ain't got to pay, but we still need to get paid, right? Which is going to be the issue with a lot of mortgage servicers. I feel like with a lot of banks, I mean, people have just not paid, right? So a lot of people are predicting like it's going to be a lot more banks to collapse coming, right? They're just kind of holding on. These rates aren't going down. So we'll see, right? So some people are predicting the end of the year, right after the election, we're going to see the banks start collapsing. A lot of people think foreclosures are going to start in the summer when they lift all of these moratorium restrictions. But I think, again, it depends on the election year. Are they going to start passing out stimulus again? They're going to offer assistance. It's some homeowners that have just exhausted all of the programs, right? There's COVID forbearance. They did a modification program during COVID. People have gone through that. People have gone through that 18-month forbearance period. They've been through all the programs, right? And that's kind of what the lag is, and they're still not able to pay, right? So it's just like they just still can't pay, even with the assistance and all that kind of stuff, right? And I don't know, a lot of people are saying it's a lot of investors. I already see this, like a lot of investors are going to go under. They said it's a lot of fraud, right? They're using the term fraud, but there was a lot of these loans, like stated income, no docs required loans, right? That are going under. It's a lot of investors going under right now. I see it all the time. The notices, it's a lot of investors. It's a lot of investors going up for auction, right? These are brand new houses that they just bought, fixed them up, right? I got a house going up for auction this week in, I think it's in Georgia, right? Well, I don't have it, but it's on the list. You can tell it's an investor. Beautiful house. They just bought it a year ago, completely renovated it, and they can't get off of it. So that means it's going to be a lot of good houses on the REO market, you guys. Boom. I'm telling you, I'm going to get my beach house. It's probably going to be an investor who bought it, who fixed it up and had to lose it, right? And I'm going to get it for because I'm going to negotiate with the bank, and I'm going to be like, I want it for $43.22, right? Boom. Let's all touch and agree on that. So, a lot of investors, I still have not talked about HUD. You guys, there's a hide on. I'm probably going to wear my clothes. My dog Rex, so I'm not going to play with you. How are you going to loan some money to someone with no docs and must be? Y'all know, I talked about this before. They used to call it back in the day, what's going on in Michigan? Yes, REO, that's right. I talked about this before. Ninja loans, right? Ninja loans, they were big back in the last crash. Ninja loans, it means, y'all know what it is? I talked about it before. Ninja like hiya, ninja. No income, no job, no asset. Those were like the loans back in 2006 and 7. Ninja loans. No job, no income, no assets. And that's how they were approving people. I see things come across the email all the time. Like they'll approve you, what is it? No documents or no, like y'all see it too, right? They're giving out $150,000, no income. I've seen it. Who was giving it out? It was big like a couple of months ago. But it's a lot of practices that are going on like that, right? And I mean, eventually, right? So, lots of new construction in Georgia. Y'all, there's so much new construction. I was watching a video and they were like showing drones in Florida. Like Florida, Texas, it's a lot of new construction. Like they said, it's some builders who got like 100 houses that are just vacant, right? Just vacant. And they're not even working on, like there's no workers working on them. Y'all know builders have to pay like these loans, or they're paying interest on them or something. Like that's why they build them and sell and try to get off of them, right? So they said it's a lot of that. And then we don't even want to talk about commercial, right? That's insane, right? You're right. It probably was Wells Fargo. Specific websites for REOs. Let me tell y'all, and then don't forget the bundle is down in my description. It's free. Absolutely free. So REO websites, that's HUDhomestore.gov, right? Homepath.com. Home, y'all know I'm a little country, right? Even though I was born in Chicago, I got a little twang, right? Homepath.com. Homesteps.com. Wells Fargo, Truist, and Bank of America. They have their own REO sites. Wells Fargo, Truist, Bank of America. They have their own REO sites. But get the bundle. I put like all of them down there, as many as I could find. So, I do post in my stories a whole lot. But yes, REO, because I always say everybody's blood pressure is not set on auction, right? Everybody's blood pressure can't handle me at the auction, right? A lot of people cannot buy properties that they cannot see the inside of, right? Y'all just not ready. Y'all just not ready for that. So you get an REO property, right? Get an REO. Those are properties that don't sell at the auction, right? They just too expensive. Investors don't want them. They go back to the bank, right? I've always said this. The last crash, you guys, they were buying them. Absolutely. They were buying them for 50 cents on the dollar. That's why I keep saying I'm going to get my house, y'all, for $27.19. I'm going to get it. So if they don't sell at the auction, they go back to the bank, right? So that's how I negotiated with this house that's in foreclosure, right? Because they were about to walk away from this house. And I was like, you're not going to walk away from this house. And that's why I tell people, just because if you are behind on your mortgage, even if you are upside down, don't walk away from your house, right? You can short sell it. I told the bank 185. I should have told them 170 to see. But like I said, we were like 15 minutes out from an auction. He was literally headed to the courthouse, and I'm texting him like, will you take 185? And that's when he was like, email it to me and my manager in 40 minutes. So I had to go with 185. Y'all, that's going to be another, look, that's going to be another like lucrative loop into investing if you can start short selling these properties, right? I offered what? Payoff was 230 and I did 185. What is that? That's almost 50,000, right? I should have offered 170. I should have said 160, right? You know, it's always hindsight, but I wanted to offer something where I knew he would be like, yes, right? So I should have said 160, but I tried 140 and he was like, that's too low. So we at 185. That's still $50,000 less. It's still cheaper than everything selling in the neighborhood, right? It's a 4-bedroom, like 2,200 square feet for 185. Y'all can't beat Memphis prices, right? You can't beat Memphis prices. So, and it stopped the auction. Like, it did all of that, right? So the people, because they were literally, I said this, and I always, like, even in the mentorship, I try to tell you guys, like, most people don't know how foreclosure works. If you have watched 99 Homes, y'all know that's one of my recommendations. Big Short, 99 Homes, and The Inside Job. You guys, those are my 3 movie recommendations. Most people, like when you get that notice, like the average homeowner, when they get the notice that says they're in foreclosure, they have no idea how it works, right? So when I was talking to these people, the husband, they had me on speakerphone, and they were like, we're going to go ahead and leave. And I said, go ahead and leave. And they were like, he was like, before it happens. I'm like, before what happens? The foreclosure? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, he's like, because I don't know when they're coming. And I'm like, who coming? You know, I'm like, but most people don't know how it works, right? And I had to explain, and I explain this, and I always teach this, like, you know, they're not coming to put you out of your house, right? Not immediately. That's not how it works, right? Even if your house sells at auction, the investor is going to try to make contact with you, right? Because they don't want you to tear up their house, honestly, right? They're going to offer you cash for keys. And then if the homeowner does not agree, then they have to file eviction on them, right? And I had to tell them that, right? I'm like, they're not coming in the middle of the night to put your stuff on the curb, right? And he was like, oh, I said, I know, I just lowered your blood pressure. And he was like, you sure did. He was like, you sure did. Because they were thinking somebody was coming at any moment to knock on the door and put their stuff out, right? So, yes, thank you. Thank you. Those are my movie recommendations. And 99 Homes has a lot of profanity in it. So don't watch it around your kids. Don't watch that around your kids. So, but that's my point. Like when you deal with most people have no idea how foreclosure works. So I told them, I'm like, no. They were like, we're just going to walk away from the house. I'm like, not today, you're not. So, you know, I got them some more time and we're going from there. But they had no clue, right? And most people have no clue, right? You don't talk about foreclosure when you buy a house. Right? They like skim over, like, if you default, then this happens, blah, 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 blah. Boom. So most people have no idea how foreclosure works, right? That's why I go and, like, I talk to, like, the home buyer seminar, right? I'm like the black sheep, right? I'm not the person you want to hear talk, where I get up and say, like, if you don't pay your mortgage, you don't come see me. But you know what I mean? It's things that you should know, right? So anyway. So that's not how it works. They ain't going to come put you out your house immediately as soon as the auction happens. In case y'all talk to people. That's not how it works. Do you teach negotiation in your class? My blood pressure gets high. Does it? Like, I think I go over, like, I do talk about, I have a script. I do like a phone script, right? And I give that to you and kind of go with what you say when you get on the phone, because I want you to be knowledgeable, right? I'm not, no shade, I'm not a wholesaler, right? I'm not calling you with, I want to buy your house. I want to buy your house. I want to buy your house. It's, my first question out the gate is, do you want to keep your house or do you want to sell your house? In whichever way they go, I am going to do my best to help them, right? I have helped plenty of people keep their house, right? I know the assistance programs here. I know the people who work there. And I do that introduction, right? And I've caught people up on their mortgage, right? So, no, the links are in the mentorship. But, you know, it's not, I always say I lead with love, right? I lead with love. So, HUD numbers. Let's bring it on back. HUD numbers, right? Y'all need to save this website. Y'all need to go to HUD so we can all talk about this together and y'all can all watch them together. I think HUD knows that I am watching them because now they're trying to put it in percentages instead of just giving me my numbers, right? They used to be like 5 million people are behind. January, it's like 11%. It's in like a whole bar graph that I got to calculate myself. So I have to go calculate, and I really believe these numbers are so off, right? Like, I honestly believe HUD's numbers are off. Keep in mind, it's a housing survey, right? So they're surveying people to get these numbers. Mind you, they have never surveyed me, right? They never asked me anything about my mortgage. So I don't know who they're surveying. So they are, you guys, Lena, welcome. Sorry, I should go to much. Yeah, no, all good. You didn't know. Thank you. So I've noticed some discrepancies in HUD's numbers, right? So I always say if these mortgage servicers would just give me their numbers, we could do that. But I'm sure they can't do that because it would all go in a handbasket, right? They're not going, Mr. Cooper, all these people are not dropping off their default numbers, even though they know them, right? They obviously know them, right? So HUD, Housing of Urban Development, they put out numbers each month about how many homeowners are delinquent on their mortgage, how many renters have not paid. So they put out a report every month. So I kind of have to look at different reports to see. Everybody's numbers are different. Let me just be totally honest with you. Everybody's numbers are different when it comes to delinquencies, when it comes to 30 days past due, 90 days past due, numbers totally off, right? So HUD's numbers, when they do percentages, because I've been watching it for 2 years, right? So they don't, I'm just going to say their numbers be off, right? If they're doing the math, somebody is calculating wrong, because 1 month, 11% will be like 4.3 million. And then the next month, 11 million will be like 4.6 or 4.7 million. I'm like, y'all's numbers are off. Like, y'all ain't doing the same math every month, right? So anyway, this past January, I think the numbers were again like 4.7 million. It's up from December. Million homeowners that are behind on their mortgage. What I do know is that for the last post-COVID, so post-2020, homeowners, we've had at least 5 million homeowners behind, and we've had at least like 6 million renters behind for the past 3 years. Solid, consistently for the past 3 years, right? Which tells me we've got at least 5, if we're combining homeowners and renters, we've got like 10 million people who have not paid either mortgage or rent for the past 3 years, right? Because the numbers have not changed. They go up a little bit, right? You can see people coming out of forbearance and going into foreclosure. Like the forbearance numbers will come down and then the foreclosure numbers will go up, which makes sense, right? But they have not been under like 4 million in the past 3 years. I'll be completely honest about that. Every single month, it's been at least 4 million people since 2020, right? So, and then you know how I feel about that 4 million. because it's a survey, that number probably like 6 million, right? It's probably 7 million. So it's a lot of people who have not paid their mortgage. Again, I mean, I got the lady who I'm helping right now. She ain't paid, and they bought in January 2023, right? And I'll just say everybody who has called me is behind at least 2 years on their mortgage, right? I have yet to see anybody behind 3 months. Ain't nobody calling Ashley 3 months. Because they be thinking I'm going to turn water into wine or something. I don't know. They don't ever call me at 3 months. They call me when it's like, my auction is on Friday and it's Wednesday at 9 o'clock. I'm like, God, y'all really be thinking I'm a miracle worker. So, but I do be working miracles. Let's note that. So, we got a whole bunch of people behind on their mortgage. That's all I'm saying. The only things we have to write, probably 8. It's some people who think it's like 15. It's always people on the spectrum, right? We got people down here like, maybe 2 million. Then you got people down here like thinking it's like 10 or 15 million people. I don't know where we are. I think we're between like 8 and 10 million. I will give you that, between homeowners and between renters. And I mean, if renters not paying, what are their landlords doing, right? You know what I mean? So we got a problem. I will say that. I will absolutely say that. When we are going to see it is, we don't know. Election, we don't know. They're probably going to roll out, depending on who's in office, they're going to roll out some assistance, another program. But they're coming, right? You can only kick the can for so long, right? That's all I can say. You can only kick the can for so long. Stop, Jamal. You better keep paying. Because, I mean, people who haven't paid, like, that affects your credit. And I always think about people who just bought, like, and were told that they could refinance, right? I always talk about this. Refinancing is not as easy as what people make it seem. If you are late on your mortgage payment, like trying to hold on to refinance and you pay late, right? I mean, when they refinance, they run your credit, right? They run your credit. If you lose your job, think of all these people every time I see job layoffs, I'm like, ooh, I hope they didn't just buy a house, right? When I saw UPS 12,000 jobs coming down, I'm like, I hope they did not just buy a house, right? Because there goes that whole income, right? And UPS, they just fought so hard to get a raise, didn't they? I felt like they just were battling it out to get a raise. Somebody just said UPS workers were making like 110 or 120,000, and then here they come now laying off all these people. I guess they said one way or the other, right? We're gonna get this money. But yeah, refinancing is not as easy as 170, but they laying off what, 12,000 people, right? 170, is that what they make? But anyway, what was my point? I got thrown all the way off because of that. It's coming. That's what I was gonna say. It's coming. Don't spend your money. I know taxes, people are about to get tax refunds. I haven't got a tax refund in so long. But that's not the point. Don't spend it, right? Or at least save it or put it somewhere, pay some bills down, right? Do that. Don't go crazy, right? Because the opportunity is coming, you guys. It's coming. I'm your girl on the inside, right? I'm the inside girl. I'm telling y'all, the REO market is about to explode because I can't sell them at the auction, right? Nobody's paying full price at the auction, right? Refinance, you were talking to. Yeah, refinance, it's not as easy, right? It's not. Refinance is you getting that whole loan all over again. And that was the part I kept saying, like, they're telling you to buy now, refinance later. Most people who bought a home, don't even want to go back through that process again, right? I got a friend who bought a house and she texted me like a year ago and was like, should I refinance? She's like, how do you refinance? I'm like, it's the whole process again. And she was like tax statements and bank taxes and bank statements. I said, yeah. She's like, oh no, I'm not doing that. Like, it's the whole process again, right? Yep. Big raise and layoffs. Isn't that crazy? So crazy. You know, and think about people who bought a house or who bought it in the peak when we were overbidding and all that kind of stuff. cashed out their savings accounts, right? Cashed out their rainy day fund to, I hate to say, to overpay for a house. And now here we are, home values are coming down, right? People get laid off. You don't have that savings because you paid, used it for the house, and shoot, you might not even be able to afford the house much longer. And these home values are coming down, you guys. They are coming. Like I said, the house that they just bought in January 2023, you guys, like the homes aren't selling for that anymore. So be patient. And if you have to buy a house, negotiate, right? Negotiate. I always say that. Look and see what has sold on the market, like the last 3 months, maybe 6 months. See how low these prices are coming down and negotiate that offer. Make sure you got an agent that will negotiate for you, right? Boom. Make sure you got one. Do you like physics? Y'all. I'll probably have to say no. So what was my point, you guys? Opportunity is coming, right? Because that's what I was saying. Auctions, they're not selling at the auction. Most of the half of them, I would say, are going back to the bank, right? Because they were just bought in the last 2 years. They were just bought post-COVID, right? So they owe the whole loan. Nobody at the auction wants that, right? So I don't know, you guys. I don't know. We will see what happens. It will astound you. Yeah, we will see. We will see, you guys. But save your money. Save your money. Go bookmark these sites for sure. The bundle, I put the website down below. Bookmark the sites for sure. Even though there's no REOs or it's a slow, they're not here now. They're coming. Trust me, right? They're absolutely coming. It's always a lag. It's always a lag in numbers. It's always, trust me. Trust me. Because I see the houses going back to the bank. And I talk to attorneys, right, who are literally like, I had an auction about a month ago. And the attorney, like I have that relationship with attorneys here. They'll be like, have you talked to the homeowner? And I'm like, I haven't talked to her in like, rewind. Auctions get postponed all the time, right? All the time auctions get postponed. That means they'll be scheduled. The homeowner might try to sell the house, right? And so the auction gets postponed. Like the house I'm working on, right? We got the auction postponed. So I might have talked to a homeowner last year. They got the auction postponed. They might have filed bankruptcy just to buy some more time, right? So I had a client, the attorney, their house was back up for auction. The attorney reached out to me the morning of the auction and was like, have you talked to her? And I was like, I haven't talked to her like since last year. And she was like, call her and see what she want to do. I'm like, the auction in an hour. And she's like, call her and see what she want to do. I'm like, okay. Like, like they're not trying to take these houses back, right? So that's opportunity for us, you guys. I should have offered 160. I should have offered 160. But I'm just saying, okay, hold on. Do you need an agent to buy REO? So it depends. Like on HUD Home Store, you guys, when I was working residential with buyers, I had to put that offer in. Like I think it asked for an agent sometime, like information. Like your agent's got to have a particular number, like to log in to do it. So go look and see. That's what I'm saying. Go look now. You're still in it. I know, right? I'm always like, dang, I could have got him a better deal. But look, I saved him. At least the house is not going up for auction. Go look. HUD Home Store, I had to represent when I had buyers. I had to be the agent and put it in, right? But go look and see and make sure. I know on HUD Home Store, they give preference to owner-occupants, like homeowners, traditional homeowners, and nonprofit organizations. And then after a certain period, they will open it up to investors, right? That's how they usually work. So go and that's what I'm saying, go familiarize yourself with the sites to see what's needed in case you don't. So check all of those. And then Truist, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they have their own REO sites, right? You know what I'm saying? If you're an agent, like email them. Like you can get on their REO vendor list. I think I got the email for that. Like I have to find it. They have like REO vendor list where agents can, list the properties, right? I feel like there will be opportunities, right, for all kinds of things. I told y'all this, like the attorney, I do auctions for them, right? I auction for, there are 5 attorneys here in Shelby County that handle most of the foreclosures. I auction for 4 of the 5 attorneys, right? So she was saying, we always talk to each other, and she was like, was just like, we need to get a truck. I told y'all this. We need to get a truck, and we could start doing trash outs, right? Because when foreclosures come, they're going to need like trash outs. Investors, banks are going to need people to trash out these properties, right? So she was like, we should just get a truck and we can do trash outs. And I'm like, I ain't doing no trash out. But that's a good idea, right? You know what I mean? There will be opportunities when the sky falls, right? Let me check on this. Yeah, I am, right? For the foreclosure auction, I'm with the auction. How long do people living in the home? So, okay, you guys, that's a good question. I bet a bunch of y'all can answer that question too. So, if you buy a property at the auction, another reason why everybody's blood pressure is not set on auction, right, is because people can live in the house, right? That's why you have to do your due diligence. You got to drive by in the daytime, drive by in the nighttime. It might be the trap house at nighttime, right? So drive by. If people live there, right, I always tell people, like in the mentorship, or if you get the auction accelerator course, lead with love, right? You contact them. If you are the highest bidder and it's people who live in the house, right, make contact with them. I made like some little cash for keys letters, right? Cash for keys is an option, right? You need to try to reach out to them, make contact with them, and try to come up with an agreement. And people are like, well, how much do you offer for cash to keys? Y'all, that depends, right? I always say, find out what these people's motivation is. If they are in the house, keep in mind, they are in your house. If you bought it at auction and people live in it, it's your house, right? You don't want them to tear up your house, right? So you got to lead with love, right? You got to play your position, right? So reach out to them. Comment down there. Oh, okay, I got you. I see your I don't know why you can't comment. Jacoby, you threw me off, and I know you just texted me and said I'm on your live. Cash for keys. Find out what their motivation is if people live in the property, right? Because you don't want them to tear up your house. That's the point. So make contact with them. Some people's motivation, like when I work with people who are in foreclosure or got to move out of the house, you might be like, hey, I'm going to bring you some boxes, right? If you know what I mean, you got to figure out, be nice. Maybe, I always say stay in control though, right? It's kind of like, I would say stay in control, right? I'm not the type to be like, well, how much time do you need, right? Because y'all know if you let somebody skate, they gonna slip and slide all over the place, right? And you kind of need your house, right? So I would be like, for me, because I'm always like, stay in control, right? I'm like, does the 15th work for you? Do you need this date? And you set the date, right? You know what I mean? Cash for keys. That's when you give somebody money to be out of your house. Y'all know y'all don't get money until they get out the house, right? Boom. Boom. Don't do that. But you gotta, it's on you, right? And then if they don't leave, right, then you got to go through the eviction process. And that just depends on where you live, right? The eviction process with the courts, file with them. They go to court, judge, you tell them you bought the house, they got to get out. That could take, 30, 60 days, right? So it just depends. But you always want to try to lead with love, right? See if you can talk to them, level with them, you know what I mean, to see if y'all can work something out, right? I've had like somebody who lived in the house and I was like, okay, so first of all, I will give you this tip. Yes. Properties that don't sell at the auction turn into REO properties. And then you'll see them on those sites, yeah. I'll give you this tip that I always do. Like on the contract, if somebody's in foreclosure, I stop the auction and they end up selling, right? They know they do not get any funds until they are completely out of that house, right? That is in the contract. Funds will not be released until that house is vacant, right? Cash for keys, you do not give them any money until they are out of that house, right? So same on both. Who do you contract with if you have a truck or a trash out, the lawyer, the bank? So that's like one of those, like, if you go to the bank, like look at the vendor list. Like if you look on REOs, like there's a section for like vendors, right? There's REO sign up. There, I've looked on, what site was I on? You got to dig in there. Like for, it'll say if you're an agent or if you're a vendor, look here. I would probably contact the bank, right? But I mean, if you got some plugs with the attorneys might can connect you with the banks. But look on the bank's sites, right? And if you're like me, I always say this, you guys, I'm a ask for forgiveness. I don't ask for permission, I ask for forgiveness, right? So if I can get one email at the bank, right? I'm gonna try to find somebody's email and I'll be like, hey, can you point me in the right direction, right? I might email 5 people at the bank, right? Somebody need to point me in the right direction. And they're gonna be like, did you know you emailed everybody at the bank? I'll be like, my bad. See, I told you, forgiveness. I'm sorry. I didn't know I emailed everybody. I'm sorry. But did you see my email? Who do I need to talk to, right? Just, start emailing, looking for phone numbers, reaching out. I'm giving y'all a heads up, right? They were saying like trash outs, like people to clean the houses, right? These are people who are contracted. Like, go professional though. Be legit, right? Be legit. Don't use Cash App and stuff like that. Don't use Cash App. Don't do that. Be legit, right? So you can establish that relationship with the bank. But those are kind of jobs that will be needed, right? Trash out, cleaning companies. I don't know, they were saying like laundromats, storage facilities. If you watch 99 Homes, there's a part on it where they're living in an extended stay hotel, right? And they were saying back in 2008, the extended stays were packed. That was true. Like the extended stays were packed because 1 million people lost their houses, right? So extended stays were insane, right? So that's like laundry facilities, right? They'll need laundry facilities. They'll need storage facilities for furniture. You know what I mean? So it's just think about what opportunities might be available. You guys, I got to catch up on y'all. Yes, go to the auction. I always tell y'all that. Go to the auction. It's free, you guys. It's free. Like I'm on the courthouse steps, right? People always, you just walk up, right? Just don't bid. If you don't have the coins, you don't open your mouth, right? You just go look, see who the auctioneer is, see where the auction is, see how many people are there, see how quickly it gets bid up, find out where you park, do all of those things. Like get a jump start on the auction. It's free. You guys just walk in there, right? I'm telling you, nobody's gonna know. You don't know. You know what I mean? Just go. And you're like, Ashley, but go on auction.com. Look, let me tell y'all, because y'all be like, well, Ashley, go on auction.com, put in whatever county you live in, right? And it'll pull auctions and just go to one. See when the next one is and just go. On auction.com, for the record, auction.com, trustee sales are at the courthouse. If you're on auction.com, look to the right and it'll have location, right? And it'll either say like the courthouse or it will say wherever auction.com is having it. Like here, auction.com is in the Conference Inn. What's the name of the hotel? Conference Inn. Whatever. It's a hotel, right? Right across the street. They're in the conference room. That's what I'm trying to say. Just look and make sure the location is where it is. You might be at the courthouse. You might be in like a conference room in a hotel. Just note the location, right? But go. Even if you don't have any intention on bidding, even if you don't see a house that you like, go, right? Everybody's like, where do you find buyers? Where's a good place to find buyers? At the auction. Y'all go to the auction. Like if you're a wholesaler or if you got properties and you need buyers, go to the auction. It's plenty buyers, right? I always say the auction is a great place to find buyers. Let people know what you do. Yeah, I got these properties. Boom. right? Or if you got like meetups in your city, I know they have like real estate meetups, go, right? Just go. Get out of your comfort zone in 2024 and go, right? I challenge everybody, get out of your comfort zone, go to an auction, maybe go to a meetup. Boom. I'm not saying you got to go talk and make friends. Just go. You can go sit in the back. I don't care. Just go. And I think a lot of times that'll motivate you, right? When you see the auction will really get you, you know, there. Because it's like that environment, an auction environment. Don't you lose your money at the auction. Don't get caught up in the environment at the auction and lose your coins. Okay? Boom. Let me put that out there right now. Stay in your budget when you go to the auction. I always say that. You don't know other people's motivation. They might be bidding on their great grandmama house, right? And they'll pay anything for it. And then you're going to be hurt. Then your feelings are going to be hurt because you was bidding with somebody who was buying their grandmama house, right? And you was just going to fix and flip it. And now you overpaid. So, stay in your budget. That's my whole point. And yes, and go to the auction. Find out where you got to park. Be on time. Go see. You might have a nice auctioneer, right? They're not going to be as nice as me, right? But they might be nice. You can exchange your information, right? Maybe they'll text. Like I text all my guys at the auction. And like, I'm like, this is what's on the schedule this week. This is the opening bid. Boom, right? I'm not saying that everybody's like that. But you never know. You never know, right? Okay, you guys, let me read. Don't let the first time you bid at the auction be the first time. That's right. That's right. Don't let the first time be the first time, right? That's from like that first video I made in 2020, right? That's like my most watched video, right? From 2020. I think that's still like number 1 or 2 top video on YouTube for auctions. But right, don't let the first time be the first time. Boom. I remember when the extended stays were packed, families just living at the extended stays. I didn't understand what the heck was going on. Yes, and that's so sad. Y'all gotta watch 99 Homes. Watch 99 Homes, right? Again, lots of profanity. It is on Amazon Prime right now for free. Because I started, I'm so crazy. I started watching it the other day, right? You guys, for real. Because I'm like, let me just go and watch it again. I've watched it a million times. I started watching it. And I had to cut it off, right? It just, like the first 10 minutes hurt your feelings so bad, right? And I was trying to work and watch the movie. And I'm about to cry watching the movie. I'm like, I can't do this. I cannot raise my blood pressure at 11 o'clock on a Wednesday, right? In the middle of the day. So I had to cut it off, right? I couldn't do it because it's so, right? So watch it. 99 Homes. It's on Prime Video for free if you got Prime. Watch it. But it hurts my heart. I have to be in the right frame of mind to watch that, right? But it's a good movie. It's a good movie. But do you teach how to wholesale? No, I'm not. Y'all, it's so many wholesalers, like wholesale classes, right? I have people who wholesale in my mentorship, right? Because it's just another lead generation pre-foreclosures, right? But I do not, I always say, like, I'm not a wholesaler. I don't teach how to wholesale. I do teach you my marketing methods, right? Everybody knows that I mail. Everybody knows that I mail. That's how the people call me back that I got, you know, who are walking away from their house, the story. They got my letter in the mail, right? Everybody knows I've been mailing for the last 3 years. It's just what I do. That's one of the methods that I do to reach out to people, right? It's definitely mail, right? My letters, I got a little letter bundle. It's in the description. If y'all want to reach out to me, I'm not a cold caller, right? I don't like getting cursed out. I don't like people cursing me out, right? So I don't cold call. I just don't do that. I don't door knock. I live in Memphis, period. Enough said. So I'm not door knocking, right? So I got other methods of reaching out, right? That's what I teach in the mentorship. And the letter, if you want to send letters and you don't know what to say, I made a whole little bundle. It's got like 30 examples of what to say, right? So I do that. Everybody knows, real quick, I use bright envelopes. So I tell y'all all my business. If I am not transparent, I am not anything, right? Because I tell y'all literally everything y'all ask me, literally. Envelopes, I get them off of Amazon. Boom, y'all can get them from Dollar Tree if you want to. I use bright colored envelopes because people open them, right? I don't send white envelopes because white envelopes look like bills and ain't nobody opening bills, right? I do, everybody knows I hand address. This is one that came back. Look, it came back. I think that means like vacant or something. I don't know. But anyway, it came back. I hand address all my envelopes. I do it. It takes time, but it works because people will open it. And that is your whole goal, is for people to open your mail, right? So if it is handwritten, it's on a bright envelope, boom, my letter is crafted to perfection, right? 99 Homes, right? Go and watch it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna literally, this one came back to me. You will always get some that come back. People might have walked away from the house already, right? I mail to the notices, right? When the notices come out, boom. If I can time it right, because your girl is that good, they will get my letter and their notice and their foreclosure notice on the same day. That is how I time it. I just have it down to a science at this point, right? They call me, they're like, it's like you knew. They were like, I got the foreclosure notice and your letter on the same day. I'm like, oh, look at God. Who knew? I'm like your angel. So anyway, I am literally just going to take this out, my letter, and I will put it in a new envelope and put it in the mail, right? So that is what I do. My letter, I put my business card in it. Y'all don't have to put your business card in it. I have plenty of people in the mentorship that are not real estate agents, right? I got nurses. I got one nurse who kill it, right? And I think they just love her because she's a nurse. And she puts that in her letter that she's a nurse in healthcare. Kills it, right? People always call her back. So my card's in it. Y'all see my little card? Boom. I put it in there. Bright envelope every day. They'll go out tomorrow. Tomorrow's mail out Mondays. I am missing comments. 99 Homes. It should say vacant on that return sticker. Just got one back in the mail. So, yep, I get vacant. Yep. There's an auction next month, but I'm not sure whether I should try and contact the seller and try for them to sell it to me privately or just let it go to auction and try to both. Why we gotta do one or the other? Oscar, why we gotta do one or the other? Do both, right? You got, the auction is not till next month. Go on and reach out, right? That's what I say. Look at me. Y'all know what it's like after. Y'all, it's 92 minutes. Y'all could have watched The Big Short and 99 Homes as long as I've been on here talking, right? Once I put my arm over the chair, then you know it's like, now I'm comfortable. This is like the after party, right? This is the party after the party, right? Once I'm like this. Oscar, reach out to them. Their auction is next month, right? For the record, you guys, for the record, if you picked up what I put down on that house that I saved from auction, if you submitted contract to the bank, they will postpone that auction, right? You got to get them something in writing. That is something that y'all didn't know that I just told you. If you send them a contract, 9 times out of 10, they will postpone an auction, okay? So auctions get postponed literally. Y'all, I got the auction postponed and they were driving to the courthouse to auction it off. I posted it in my stories, right? You can see our text messages. Our text messages were like 9:45. Will you take 185, right? And the auction was at 10:30. He was like, send me a contract in 40 minutes. And the auction got postponed. Oscar, reach out to him. Keep in mind, if you reach out to a person in foreclosure, right? Let me take a breath. Let me take a breath. I'm trying to think how I'm going to say this. Auctions, right? When properties go up for auction, right, and they sell, when I say going once, going twice, sold, that clears the title, usually, right? Once I say sold, it's now a foreclosure, that title is clear. If you buy it before it goes to auction, keep in mind, any liens, all that kind of stuff is going to come out of those people's payoffs, right? So if it's liens on the property, just keep that in mind. They don't fall off, right? The seller is going to have to clear them with their money, right? And there's a whole bunch of people who got liens who act like they don't know they have liens. Let me say that. I have talked to people plenty of times. I'm like, you got any liens or anything on your property? Nope. As soon as title is pulled, liens everywhere, right? You didn't pay the contractor. You ain't paid anybody. And everybody's got liens on your house. So just keep that in mind if you get it before the auction. But if you get it before the auction, right, you deal with them one-on-one. You can set that price. You know what I mean? When you come to the auction, you got competition. If you get to them before the auction, you can use traditional financing. You can get a loan. You can do all of that. You can buy you some time. At the auction, it is certified funds. You got to pay for it right then and there. Boom. So pros, cons, Oscar, do both. Do both, right? Do both. Okay, home, thumbs up, after party, right? Get that bank's legit contract and the bank might post. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all, I was on the phone with that guy at the bank and I was like, he was like, if you can send me something, he was like, we'll do it. He was like, I was actually on the phone with somebody this morning getting the foreclosure postponed. Y'all know I'm gonna email him back. I'm probably gonna send him some coffee and be like, call me if you got some foreclosures, because I'm here, right? That's how you establish relationships with people, right? So, and especially if I do really good on this deal, I'm gonna be like, send me all your deals, right? And then you send me your manager's email. He was like, email the contract to me and my manager. You shouldn't have sent me your manager, because now I'm gonna be on him, right? Now I'm gonna talk to him. So, so should wait and buy at auction so to miss liens. But there's going to be competition. I feel like it's pros and cons, Laura. It's pros and cons, right? Pros and cons. There might not be any liens. You got to learn how to look at the title, right? If you want to look at title, which you have to do, y'all, this is how I can just talk from one point. Like, I go like all over. I go from one subject to the next subject, right? We're going to be on here. This is going to be like a telethon, like a marathon, right? Because I can talk all night. So, and I know on the East Coast, it's 10:33, right? But I guess y'all okay. Y'all don't mind me talking. Laura, there might not be any liens on that property. Look on the county records and deeds, right? If you're going to the auction, y'all got to learn how to read title. Y'all got to learn how to look at the title, okay? You got to do that. I teach you how to read title in my course, right? Use code thank you. It's down below. If you don't know how to look at title, right? Because you can buy the wrong lien at auction, okay? And then your feelings going to be hurt all year. Your feelings are going to be hurt all 2024. Boom. You're going to buy a house that you can't do anything with, okay? So, Laura, look at the title, county records and deeds. Go to your county records and deeds office, put in that address, and it should pull everything up on that title. You might have to pay depending on where you live. If you live in Nashville, they make you pay. Here in Memphis, they don't care about our information. You can find everything about us in Memphis, right? So look on it. You can see if there's any liens, right? Because when you file a lien, it's a lien on the title. If you can go to county records and deeds, look and see if somebody has, it'll say lien, L-I-E-N. It might say something like that. And you can see if somebody's filed a lien on that property. So you can see like what you might be up against. It's not a 100%, but y'all, it's close. You can see if somebody filed a lien on that property, right? And I think if you get far enough into it, Laura, think about this. If you get it before it goes to auction, right? It's the typical home buying process. You got to go through a closing attorney that's going to do a title search, right? So when they do that title search, they'll find out if there's any liens or anything like that on it. When you go to the auction, ain't no title search. It's no closing, no title search. Everybody's blood pressure is not ready for that. Everybody's blood pressure is not ready for that. Okay, so there you go. So that kind of gives you a heads up, Laura. You know, if there might be a lien on it, right? And it'll tell you how much that lien is, too. So I hope that helped you. Yeah, negotiate, liens. So I say do both. Do all the things, right? I started mailing pre-foreclosures because I don't like being the middleman, right? I just want the best offer. That's what it is. And it takes a little bit more effort. I mail, all that kind of time. It takes a little bit more effort, but I get the best deals, right? I get the best deals. Like if I got to go through an agent, if I got to go through the MLS, I'm not going to get the best deal. right? But if I'm talking directly to that homeowner or that seller, I'm gonna get the best deal, and my client's gonna get the best deal, right? It's just, that's just what I want, right? You know what I'm saying? So it takes a little bit more effort, but in the long run, you get the best deal, right? Because when you deal with somebody else, an agent, their fees are in it. It's all kind of, I need to go right to the source, right? I need to go to the source. So I got to put in a little extra work, right? But it's well worth it. It's well worth it. I promise you that. I think, you guys, it's been 100 minutes and 23 seconds. So 100 minutes, right? You guys, it is 9:37. I'm acting like I ain't gonna take Gabby to school in the morning, you guys. Did I answer? I hope I answered like everybody's questions, right? Okay. How did you find the guy at the bank? Did the owner give you the information? Yep. So once I talk to a homeowner, right? If you in foreclosure, I'm asking you all kinds of questions. You know, I'm working with you at this point. I'm like, hey, I got to get a contract to the bank to postpone. Give me your mortgage information, right? I'm asking, like, it depends on the situation, but I might be like, do you know what your payoff is? Because if I got to find a buyer, I got to make sure there's enough room, right? Like when I found out that their payoff was $231, I was like, I can't sell this to nobody. Like the house isn't even worth $231, right? So you know, and people don't know. It's like, I mean, they were gonna walk away from the house. So I'm like, yo, who are you talking to at the bank, right? And they're like, here go the whole, send me the whole mortgage statement. And so then I reached out to the people at the bank, right? And once you know what the bank is, you can go online and go to their mortgage department or go to their foreclosure department, their whatever they like defaulted department or go on there, go to whatever bank they tell you they bank with. You can put in the search foreclosure and it's gonna give you their whole, if you're behind on your payments, contact this person, boop, boop. You just gotta dig a little deeper. But that's how they gave me their bank people. You know what I mean? That's how I found it out. So yeah, because I need to know how much the payoff is. Usually they'll just tell you, right? When they in foreclosure, I'm like, how much is the payoff? Or how much are you looking to walk away with, right? Or you go in the county records and deeds and see when they bought it, right? So, and since these people just bought in January, it had all their business on Zillow, like just sold for $220. You know what I mean? You know, just ask. You know what I mean? But lead with love, right? Lead with love. It's not, I want to buy your house. I want to buy your house. I want to buy. Lead with love. That's what I say. And you get the best results. Everybody's kind of happy. You know, it is what it is, right? Thanks, you guys. Thanks. Absolutely. How did you find the guy? Yeah, I think I answered all of your questions in 102 minutes and 50 seconds. Boom. So, in conclusion, class, we're going to wrap up this TED Talk real quick. Don't forget 3 movie recommendations: Big Short, 99 Homes, Inside Job. I love all 3 of those, right? Watch them. When y'all watch them, tell me you watched them so that we can talk about it again. I like when y'all are like, I watched this. I'm like, what did you think about it? So, watch those. Tell me what you think. All of my links are down below. You're welcome, you guys. All the links are down below. All my free websites. It's free, you guys. It's free. And the course, use code thank you. Use code thank you. I'm on Instagram, Your Agent Ashley. I'm on here. I'm on youragentashleigh@gmail.com. Y'all always are asking me questions, right? You know, like, if I could answer all your questions, I would. Y'all send me houses, and I try, you guys. I think that's it, you guys. I'll be back next Sunday. Is next Sunday like Super Bowl Sunday? I don't know. But I'll be back next Sunday, right? Inside Job is a documentary, right? It's the total documentary on what happened with the crash in 2008. So it starts off a little slow, but stick with it, okay? Stick with it. It's good. You'll learn a lot, actually. Okay, you guys, I think that is it. You are welcome. You are welcome. If you need my letters, they are down below. All my info, it's there. It's there, you guys. I hope you have a good weekend. So yes, Super Bowl is next Sunday. I mean, it's not like I like really watch watch it, but I know y'all watch it. I know people watch it. So I might still come on here though, right? Yeah, go watch them. Go watch them, you guys. I'm obsessed with the last housing crash. So just know that I watch everything that comes out about it. I read every article. Like I do all of that, right? So my voice is about to leave. It is 9:41. Everybody needs to go to bed. It's time to go to bed. Okay, you guys, I will see you. I have a newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter, and I announce when I'm going to be live. Boom. There it is. Boom. There it is. Sign up for the Property Pulse newsletter. I talk about auctions, foreclosures. Boom. Right? I'm obsessed with 90. I know it's so good, but it makes my blood pressure so high. I'm about to cry every time I watch it. It's like one of those movies. If y'all watch The Handmaid's Tale. Did y'all watch that? I watched the first season, but it's so heavy, right? You watch Handmaid's Tale and you be like depressed after you finish watching it, right? 99 Homes, so good, but it's heartbreaking, right? It's heartbreaking. And I couldn't watch it at 11 o'clock. My mood would have been bad the rest of the day. So anyway, go watch them. Let me know what you think after you watch them, right? I know, you guys, I know. Yes, Property Pulse newsletter. Sign up for that. I do auctions, foreclosures. I let you know if I'm going to have a masterclass. I have no idea what my masterclass is going to be in February. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I don't know. So, okay, you guys. Now I'm finished talking for real. Now I can talk. I can talk. So, okay, I'm through for real this time. I'm through for real this time. I'm through. Okay? If you have a question, email me. Go follow me on Instagram. That's where I post every single thing. Y'all know how it works. I'm going to say, you're right, Michael. You're right. You're right. You're right. I'm going to be on here next Sunday. I'll be on here next Sunday. We can have our own little Super Bowl, house party. I'll be on here next Sunday. Tiffany, welcome. I will be on here next Sunday, you guys. And yes, thanks, you guys. I love that y'all come and listen to me talk and ramble on forever. So, okay, we're getting off. Y'all know how this works. You hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Jamal, I should offer 160. I went from 140 to 185. But understand the pressure I was under, right? I had like 30 minutes to beat an auction, right? He's literally like, I'm on the way to the courthouse. I'm like, 185. Just give me one. I know you're going to take 185, right? And then I asked him what the opening bid was. And he was like, I can't share that information with you. He was like, but let your guys know that come to the auction if they're interested to come to the auction. I said, so what's the opening bid? He was like, I can't tell you that. What am I supposed to tell my guys then, right? Like, you got to tell me what the opening bid is. I'm the auctioneer. I tell the opening bid because people got to know how much money to bring, right? So I was just like, you know what? 185. Boom. Let's lock it down, right? So that's what happened. Don't worry, next time, don't worry, there'll be more. And I'm telling you, and I'm going to be like $45.17. Period. I'm gonna sell it to you right now. And let's lock this deal. Okay. So, right. You're right. I should have said 145. Right. Well, if you want to take 140, then we will do 145. Okay, you guys, no, you hang up. You hang up. No, you hang up like we're 16. Okay. We're getting off. Okay, on 3. Everybody hang up. Bye, you guys. 1, 2, 3. Hang up.